Thank you, thank you. I see there's a lot of applause in the back. Standing room only back there. Is everyone having a good reInvent? All right, all right. Hey, thank you for coming. I'm Anthony Palladino. I'm a partner specialist for the end user compute competency. And with me is Dave Jaski.
I'm Dave Jaski, Senior Solution Architect, specializing in end user compute. So before we get started, show of hands, how many of you have end user compute deployment out there? Awesome, awesome. So for today's scenario, we're going to walk through a deployment where an EUC administrator has thousands of workspaces deployed. They've got workspaces deployed all over the world. They've got workspaces deployed in corporate locations in the United States. They've got work from home users as well. And the EUC admin is trying to troubleshoot it for a user. So if that user calls in and says, I'm having problems connecting, my connection might be slow, something like that. And the EUC admin has to look first in the workspaces console to get information on that workspace's instance. They can see the bundle type, they can see the root volume, they can see what the compute was deployed at. But then if they're also looking to see what is that user experiencing, like the in-session latency, that's going to CloudWatch. So in CloudWatch, that's where you'll be able to pull things like the in-session latency. We'll be able to measure the bits that are being delivered to that user. You'll be able to see packet loss, which will be able to determine if there's frames being lost to that user. You'll also be able to see information on that instance. So things like CPU, memory, disk utilization, that will be in there as well. So if they're having slow performance, it could be a result of the CPU or memory being maxed out in the box. If their application's crashing, it might be an issue where their root volume or user volume might be filled up. And then finally, we've got the CloudWatch Internet Monitor as well. And this is a service that collects information on various ISPs when you deploy to your directory, and you can get detailed information on the ISP, ASN, as well as the users that are connected to it. In addition, EUC admins, if they're looking to scale, if they've got thousands of workspace deployments out there, the best way to administer them is to automate and develop scripts. So in today's session, we'll show you how we can use Bedrock to generate those scripts to be able to ease admin's life out there. Then finally, EUC admins are being asked to do more with less. They're being handed more complex environments. They're being asked to manage more on increasing scale, and this is a challenge that we can use Bedrock to help us break down.
So Dave, it sounds like this is really driving efficiency for end user compute customers that are managing their own employees, and it's also driving efficiency if you're a partner and let's say you have an MSP practice, it's going to drive efficiency there as well, right? And they're going to be able to scale.
Yep. And, cool. And the solution that we're going to show today, you can build upon. It's going to show the kind of the base that we put out there, but you can build upon that. You can develop solutions, whether it be for an administrator, or if you're trying to build a partner solution, or if you're looking to build potentially a chatbot to an end user.
Yeah. Is there anyone out there in the audience that is running an MSP practice, or are they just managing EUC in-house mostly? In-house. So in your world, you don't care if it's the CEO dialing in or just a knowledge worker dialing in. You want to give them the best service as possible and as quick as possible. And I think that's what this is all about, right, Dan?
Yep.
All right. Let's learn a little bit more.
So we'll show you some sample architecture out here, and we'll start from the left and go to the right. The user in this scenario is going to be the end user compute administrator. It could be a help desk administrator as well. So basically, this is the person that you're calling in if you're an end user because you need help. You could also extend this to be a solution that could go to the end user as well. So if an end user is having problems connecting, they could chat this bot and get information on their workspace. The next column that we have out there, we've got Amazon Cognito as well as ECS. And this is really just putting a front end onto our solution. So when we demo it later, it's a very bare bones web page that you can connect into and chat with. The next column that we got is the knowledge base. And this is where we have it configured to look at the workspace's best practices. We've got this looking at the workspace's API calls. And from there, you can add additional things in there as well that would be relevant to your environment. Going over, we've got Amazon Bedrock, as well as our Lambda functions. So this is where we get to real-time information. If we were asking things, that we want to understand, what are the best practices for workspaces, what's something in the admin guide, the knowledge base will take care of that. if we're looking to understand how a user's connecting, what ISP they're using, potentially what client version or any other issues within there, that's where we have Lambda that will reach out to the workspace's service and then return data on the workspace, as well as it can call CloudWatch or CloudWatch Internet Monitor to grab those data into the service.
So what if I'm a customer or an MSP that has like a custom workflow or a custom use case? How does that fit into this architecture?
Yeah, that's a great question. And basically what you would do is you take that PDF or whatever custom process that is, put that into an S3 bucket, and then have Bedrock point to that S3 bucket and index it. So it could be part of that, and then as you chat the bot, you'll get information back specifically to what you just uploaded.
That's awesome.
So let's go through the first example. We admins commonly need to understand who could be impacted by an ISP outage. Could be weather related, could be some other event going on there. They want to know who's impacted, but they're also wanting to know where are users connected from. This could be geography, this could be different locations within there, or planning for weather events. So here's the demo. We'll start at the right side of the screen. This is just using the Amazon Bedrock agent. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask it a question. There we go. Looks like it's typing now. So basically I'm going to ask it a question, what workspaces IDs are connected to T-Mobile? So, as we mentioned before, kind of in the opening statement, EUC admins are trying to break down and understand, who's connecting from where. This shows my environment where I've got 3 workspaces that are connected to the T-Mobile ISP. Now going to the left side of the screen. This is what I mentioned earlier, that you can build web interfaces, you can customize this, have a lot more fun with it. We built a basic web page to kind of show the functionality. And here, I'm going to dive into more details. So I want to know some specifics on one of those workspaces. We found out that they're connected to T-Mobile, but now I want to get details of that actual workspace ID. So as you can see, as I ask the question, it's reaching out to AWS Lambda, and it's going to get me that information. And as you can see that I'm connected from Germantown, Wisconsin, which is my hometown. That is correct where I'm coming from. So I could add additional questions within there. Now, let's just say the user's still having problems connecting. I can dive deep. I can ask additional questions within here. So what's the client? What's the platform? What's the client version? We know that if you're using older client versions, that might not be the most optimal experience. So this can break this down with a handful of questions, saying the same chat interface, to be able to gather that information. Let's look at another example. So as we mentioned, we've got thousands of workspaces deployed. How do we automate, how do we manage these at scale? So for example, things like doing reboots, things like doing restores. If we're trying to migrate bundles, change compute, that's going to be something that we can also do within this interface as well. So let's load the demo for this. And in this scenario, I'm giving it a very specific question. I want to use a PowerShell script as an EUC admin to get all the workspaces in my region, US East 1, that are unhealthy. And what I want to do is I want to do a sleep, second in between, and then reboot those workspaces. So what I just entered now into the chat interface, it's going to go out and generate me that script. Once the script gets generated, we're going to take that and look at it in PowerShell ICE to take a look and see what it comes up with. So it'll take a few seconds to get that. And as you can see, the web interface has the text up here. It is formatted, so I can basically copy and paste that into my PowerShell ICE console here, and we'll show you the beautiful part of what this looks like. As they open up PowerShell and paste it, you'll notice that it has comments in it. It's formatted. It's ready to go from an EUC admin perspective. It shows me the API calls that I'll need to do to be successful for that, and it's very easily readable. So if I want to be able to make modifications, instead of maybe doing a CSV output or something like that, I could go in there and change the script as well. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to ask Bedrock to update the agent to do essentially a rebuild instead of a reboot. One of the cool benefits of Amazon Workspaces is that there's snapshots in there. If there's a bad application or patch that we push out there, we can generate a script that will actually restore the workspaces. And what I'm asking it to do is now generate me that script to do that in real time. As mentioned, EUC admins are being asked to do a lot more, as well as quickly. So this is something that you can generate this code very quickly in here to get it into PowerShell, have peer reviews, take a look at it together with your team and test that out, instead of having to go through each of the various APIs. And as you can see, it is the very similar script as the first one, but now instead of doing a reboot of that workspace, it's going to do a rebuild of the workspace. And again, I could continuously ask Bedrock to add additional context in there or additional outputs. We can make the script more complex, but it's a fairly easy script to read, just to accomplish that.
All right.
So in summary, we showed two examples here. We showed how you can connect multiple data sources. You can connect more data sources there. If you've got custom data sources or custom knowledge bases, get that added to the knowledge base, and then you can ask it questions that will generate very specific business practices. If you've got other databases out there, maybe employee data, or if you've got information on, say, the user contact information, you can have this proactively notify users too. If you see that ISP outage, you could reach out to the users and let them know if there's an issue in there. On the code generation side, we showed a very simple example. We could build more complex examples from that. That would be able to do a lot of your runbooks. Or if you're looking to move to a new region, deploy workspaces, standby, or other events like that. We've got some additional resources out here. Starting on the outside, we've got a generative AI blog as well as a machine learning blog. Definitely check that out. They've got a lot of information on the announcements this week, as well as a lot of ideas out there that can inspire you to build things within there. And then we've got our end user compute blog. So as an end user compute, we've got a number of different services, from Workspaces Personal, our persistent desktop offering, Workspaces Pools, our non-persistent desktop offering. We've got AppStream if you're looking at doing an ISV application, Workspaces Secure Browser if you're looking to just have a very, very purposeful built browser to connect in and get information from it within there. And then finally, we have our Workspaces Thin Client as well. That was launched at reInvent last year. That's a device that you can connect to these EUC services.
Does anyone have any questions in the audience? No? All right, I think that wraps it up. Dave, great job. It was great to hear about this new AI project that you're working on for end user compute, and I think it's really going to do well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.